Today, I'm going to be helping you beat the mental game of trading because I know probably in the last year you had a lot of ups and downs in your mental game while trading. And this year might actually feel quite decent. We're coming to the end of the month of 2026, and you might feel a little bit better because it feels like a clean sheet. You've got a whole year ahead of you. So you're kind of leaving what happened in 2025 behind, and hopefully you are. And I'm going to be talking about that a little bit later on and telling you how to overcome certain things. But I've been someone who's been in and out of this market so many times. I've done it year after year. So I can definitely give you some tips from my personal experience, which will help you kind of keep that longevity and the consistency in your trading in the mental side of it. Because I feel like mentally, you should be 100% ready for trading. As I feel like that's like the second biggest thing in trading after your strategy, I feel like is your mental game. So we're going to go jumping right into this. The first thing that I've written down here is the first thing I want to talk about is the harsh truth of something. And I feel like a lot of people might not feel very comfortable overcoming this at the beginning, but I feel like it's number one step before you get to the other parts that I'm going to be talking about. So it's going to be a nice video, no edit, no nothing, just me, man to man, woman to man, whoever's watching the video, just me spitting some game to you guys and helping you guys. So first thing is that the harsh truth that you need to overcome is that 99% of the time, it's not the market, it's not the institutions trying to target your stop loss, it's not the news that is out there, it's not nothing. Yeah, it is you. You are the problem 99% of the time. And this is something that a lot of people struggle to overcome because they don't want to feel like they're wrong. And it's normal when you're wrong, especially if this is like your first self thing that you're doing. It's not like a job. You're not going anywhere and someone's giving you your rules. You follow them step by step and it's not handed to you how to do it. It is very difficult to kind of take self accountability. And I feel like this is the main thing that I feel like a lot of people need to talk about more. And the reason why I think a lot of people struggle with this is they just don't want to feel wrong. That's the main thing. They don't want to feel like it was their fault. They just want to take the blame away because it hurts. It hurts knowing that you did something wrong. But when you overcome that and understand that you were the issue and you get over it and you're like, okay, I messed up. I messed up because I was being careless. Maybe I was being a little bit too greedy. Maybe I was just in my mind. I was just not being patient. When you get overcome that, that's when you get to the next few levels I'm going to be talking about. So the first thing I want you guys to realize is that you need to be more accountable of yourself. It's 2026. Maybe last year you weren't as accountable. Maybe you were trying to blame on different people. You were trying to blame a prop firm for not paying you out just because you didn't follow the rules. And you're just trying to blame everything around you. And I'm telling you right now, especially from someone who came from playing sports, I was trying to play at a very high level in sports, many different sports. And I feel like this is what I learned from them is that you have to always hold yourself accountable, no matter if someone didn't pass you the ball, the time ran out, the ref is being bad. End of the day, it is you that's putting in the work, and it only matters. It's only you that can put in the work. So that's the way you have to view it. It matters about how much work you put in, not how much work your coach is put in, not how much work your friends put in, but it's more of how much work you put in and how accountable are you holding yourself. Did I get up to date? Did I do my morning run? Did I do thingy? No one's going to do that for you. And even if someone does it for you, goes on that morning run from you, for you, you're not getting the benefits of it. So you have to hold yourself accountable. Always realize that it's only going to be you going to be doing everything. So you have to be honest and accountable with yourself. So that's the first thing I want to talk about. And that kind of links to the second thing is I want to talk about online, how the media portrays trading, how people portray themselves in trading. And it can be very easily to get lost within that. And that can affect the self accountability. That can affect every other part of your mental aspect because you're seeing people's results online who've behind the scenes, maybe they've worked 7 years, maybe they worked 10 years, maybe they've only been working 2 years, but regardless, they put that work in. And the only part that you're seeing is the result. And it's very easy to get caught up with in the mindset of that. Why am I not there? Why am I not getting the similar results? Why is that guy just made $20,000 in one day? Why am I only making 1,000? And it's very easy to fall victim of that because all you see online now is people flexing how much they made, people showing their lifestyle, people showing how much money they make. And this is why a lot of the time I try my best to keep those things kind of subtle. The part of my life that I'm blessed in now, and the part of my life that I'm happy that I managed to achieve now, I try to not show it as often. Every now and then I try to show you guys a little bit of my lifestyle as a bit of motivation. But I try to be more relatable to you guys, so you guys can feel like you're relating to me, because I feel like in online space there's barely any people that you can sit and watch the video and be like, I understand this guy. He's kind of got the similar mindset to me. Or, oh, like most people when they're talking about things, they're talking about this, that, and this, that, about these kind of cars, these kind of houses, and I can't relate to them. We're too far apart. So that's why a lot of the time I try to tone those type of things down and talk more from a person to person level, not I'm rich, you're poor, not I'm better, you're bad. You get me? Like I feel like a lot of online traders or even any sort of online influencer, they talk in that perspective, you know? So one thing that I feel like a lot of people fall under is feeling like they're behind. I see a lot of 16-year-old traders, 17-year-old traders, 20-year-olds, even a little bit older, maybe 25, 30-year-olds. They come to me and they say I'm behind. They literally say, I don't know what to do with my life. They're asking me for life advice. They're telling me, look, I don't know what to do. I've been trying trading for years. It's not working out. I'm trying to get married. It's not working out. Like you won't like believe the amount of stuff that people come to me about. And I kind of get it. I'm young, okay? I'm at a level where I'm happy with my life. I've achieved many things in my life, no matter what it is. I've achieved loads of things, and I've always tried to be in that kind of zone that I'm always just trying to achieve things, yeah? And the number one thing that I've seen from other millionaires, traders, I've met some billionaires in my life, is that your time will come. It doesn't matter when, it doesn't matter what age. All you need to remember is that your time will come. And one thing, as I believe, as a Muslim, and as someone who practices the religion quite a lot and reads up about the religion, and I'm a little bit like trying to get more educated in it, is that I believe that everything's written for you. Your paths are written, your choices are written. So you every decision you make in life, it's written, and eventually you will get there. Maybe you just took a different path, but maybe taking this certain path saved you from maybe trying to go down the fast route, and maybe your life would have got ruined. Maybe you'd have gotten a bad car crash. You just have to think about it like that. Every path you take is being written that way, and the reason why it might be taking longer for you is maybe because God knows if you took the shorter path, maybe you'd have went down the side of gambling, maybe you'd have went down the side of taking drugs, maybe you'd have went bankrupt. You never know. So maybe he's teaching you through little mistakes, but which right now might feel like big. Oh, I lost £500, or I lost $500, or I lost this amount of money. I keep failing at these things. It might feel big right now, but in the future, when you get to that space and you've actually made it, you understand that, man, those little sacrifices, those little losses that taught me a lot were so much better than me getting all that money and then making really expensive losses, really big losses that would have affected my life way differently than it did when you lost $200-300 here, $200-300 there, $2,000 there. Maybe if you were just handed that money, maybe if you just handed that success, you'd have lost 10 million, you would have lost 5 million. You don't know. So the way I see it is you just have to view it in a sense of, no matter if you're religious or not, everything's being written. Yeah. And the path that you're going down, it might feel like it's slow. You might feel like it's a little bit rough, but it might be the easier path. You never know in the long run. You might be 10 times more rich than someone else. And you just have to always be grateful for what kind of path you're on. And I feel like there's a lot of people that are just always trying to compare themselves with other people. And you can't compare yourself with anyone because you're not the same as anyone. You don't have the same exact DNA as anyone. If you're not the exact same in DNA wise, why would you compare yourself to someone? You're not the same height as everyone. You've not got the same eye color. So it's the exact same thing as you're trying to compare your life to them, but they had so many different like life paths, life choices that they could have went down. They have so many different problems than you. So you can't always compare yourself. And the number one thing is that I feel like that's helped me a lot as well. You just need to be happy with the path you're going down. And you just need to sit there and say, thank you, God, for kind of giving me this path, and just farm it, bro. You need to go down that path and just say, this is the path I've been given. I need to give it 100%. You might not be where everyone else is online. You might not have what everyone else has online. You might not have rich parents. You might not be you might have not been handed anything down from your grandparents. Your grandparents were maybe not rich. Maybe you're in a bad country, third world country, where opportunities are so little. But you need to sit there and say, okay, I've been given this path. What do I do? Life is kind of like a game. It is kind of like a puzzle, and it's the same thing as a lot of you guys who game out there, or a lot of you guys that just do anything sports wise as well. There's like different modes to it. Yeah, and you kind of get spawned in different modes. And I feel like a good example of this is like Minecraft. Yeah, you spawn in a random world. Every single time is going to be different. Every single time you might spawn near a village straight away. You might have everything around you. You might get all the resources in the game. You might spawn near diamonds or whatever. Yeah, but sometimes you might spawn in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing around you. But regardless, you don't sit and join a game, yeah, and sit there and say, I'm not going to play it because I didn't get a better opportunity than my last game that I played, or my friend spawned right next to this. I'm not going to play the game. You do, and you figure out, and you work hard during the game. But I feel like a lot of people, if they had the same mindset within your actual life, you would get so much further. You just need to look at it as a, okay, I've been given these opportunities. What can I do with this? You should be a problem solver. The only good part about your life is that you're healthy enough to problem solve. If you're healthy, if you can get up, you can go gym, you can talk certain languages, you can see, you've got a brain that works, and you're not disabled or anything like that. You're ahead of so many other people who wish that had those things. So you just need to take that and just go with it, and just find out the problems that you have and fix them. That's the only way you're going to get to somewhere in life. And that's why I'm trying to compare it to Minecraft. You're not always going to get the same opportunity as every game or every other player, but you're still going to figure out. And that's how I feel like it should be in your life. And so yeah, don't relate yourself and don't try to match yourself with other people online. I feel like it's the worst thing that you can do, because there's a lot of people who have put in 10 times the amount of work that you might have been putting in. They've been doing it 10 times longer than you have been, and you're just trying to compare their results to your results, which is really difficult, especially in trading. Some people, you might be, to be fair, the number one thing with trading, I feel like, is just capital. A lot of people have a lot more capital because they've been doing it longer. It doesn't mean that they're better at trading than you. They just have more capital. Some people might be getting less percentages than you every single month, but they're making more money, and it's all due to capital. They might have $1 million account while you only can afford a $10,000 account, you know? So one of your percent is going to be so much smaller than if they even make 0.5%, 0.25%. So that's the way you have to see it. That is, a lot of it is to do with capital in trading, and that comes by time. So that's one thing. Don't compare yourself to anyone online, or try to find someone at maybe a similar level to you, or they live a similar lifestyle to you. Maybe you can start relating with them a little bit more. So one thing, all these gurus, influencers who aren't doing anything for you, they aren't giving you any advice. You're just watching the videos for fun. Unfollow them. Unsubscribe from them. And I'm not meaning this as like a hateful thing. I'm just saying, in this part, if this is something that you are struggling with, go off Instagram, go off YouTube. Don't watch it as much. If it's not benefiting you in your trading, why are you watching it? You're just watching it for entertainment. And at some points of your life, you can't be affording to waste your time on entertainment. You should be wasting your time. Well, not wasting your time. You should be using your time on things that are actually going to benefit you in this part of your life. And then you can waste a little bit of time when you get in those little areas of your life. You made some money. You've made some savings, you've made some results, that's when you can start enjoying some time. But at this time in your life, you can't be wasting it on watching other people succeed. Yeah. So get off Instagram, get off YouTube, and go use your time, go back test, go gym, fix your life. You know what I mean? So stop watching other people's results and then trying to feel bad for yourself because, why am I not there? I'm older than this guy. Why am I not there? I'm younger than him, but still, why am I not there? Why has he got the results? Never have that victim mindset. Just say, as a Muslim, I'd say, Alhamdulillah, I've been given this opportunity. I'm going to go with it. Thank God I've been given this opportunity and I'm going to go with it. So delete your social medias. That's number one if you do struggle with that. The second thing that I've written here is that a lot of people try to get greedy as well, and it kind of links with the one before it, because of online, like social media presence from different people. So they watch videos online, they say, this guy made 20k, yeah, and let's say you're up on the day, you're up 2k, you're thinking, I just watched the video, this guy's up for 10k, I should go for more, I should try to reach 10k, why can I not make 10k? And your strategy might be completely different. At the end of the month, that might have been his only trade that he took, and at the end of the month, he might have made 10k, but maybe you made 2k because your strategy means that you're going to get the same amount as him at the end of the month. And at the end of the month, you both have the same amount. It's just your strategy was different. So one thing is, don't get greedy. And this is where it comes back to saying trading needs to be like a business. It needs to be like your job. It needs to have structure. You're failing because you don't have structure in your trading. So when you get structure, you need to have certain rules within yourself. When you exit a trade, that's the only trade for the day, one trade a day. If you go over that, you're not like, you have to punish yourself in some way, not actual like physical punishment, but you need to punish yourself in some way. Like maybe you were going to go play a game. I'm not playing a game today because I messed up in trading. Maybe you're on some sort of diet and you're going to get a cheat day or something, or eat out. Say to yourself, I'm not going to eat out because I failed at this. You need to hold yourself accountable. Like I said in the first one, you need to be harsh with yourself. I'm the problem. You need to figure out that you're the problem in certain things. And when you figure that, okay, where can we go from there? How do I fix this problem now? That's the way you have to view it. So don't get over greedy. That's one thing that I see a lot of traders struggle with. They get too greedy. They think, oh, I've only made $2,000. $2,000. Some people would be wishing that they made even $1,000, $100. When you were younger, you need to realize these numbers to you when you were younger, when you didn't know anything about trading, you didn't know anything about money. These numbers to you were absolutely crazy. Or to a normal person who doesn't trade, that's my monthly wage. They work 40, 50-hour weeks, physical labor to make that amount of money. So when you get given something, this is something that I use quite a lot in my payouts. And I even, on one of my most recent payouts that I requested, it was only $1,000. To someone who's been trading over so many years, some of my bigger days are 6.5%, $6,500 over multiple accounts. And I'm sitting here requesting a $1,000 payout. It's not because, oh, I just need this money, I'm really desperate. It's because I've been given the opportunity to make money. Back in the day, that $1,000, that could last me a whole year because I was trying to make it. I was eating noodles. I was thinking, and I've been to that part of my life, you know. And even to this day, these small payouts, if I've been given it and it's part of my strategy, I secure a payout on one account, I move on to the next account. It doesn't matter the size of the payout. I've secured the payout. I'm requesting it, and that way, instead of me saying, oh, it's only 1,000, I need to make it 10,000, I need to make it 15,000, whatever. In that way, okay, I've now saved myself from losing any more money, because you could have just went and blew that account now. I've saved myself from losing any money, secured that £1,000, I have £1,000 in my pocket now. That maybe pays off for a few accounts I've paid for, which is good. So set yourself rules in greediness wise, and you have to always kind of reality check yourself. You're sitting there, oh, it's only 3,000, why would that exit the trade? Well, if you reality check yourself and you realize that 3,000 a few months ago when you were still working was more than your monthly wage, that's when you will realize, okay, maybe I should take this payout. So kind of say to yourself that you need to stop being more greedy. You need to kind of limit yourself from greed. And the way I do that is by just setting rules with myself. You've secured the payout, you're in profit on your account, secure the payout, boom, move to the next account. Or secure the payout and take your hands off it. You've made money. That's okay. Wait for that money, reinvest it back into trading. So set rules for that. Then the next thing that I feel like is this is what changed my mental game in trading, is trauma association. This is something I learned while reading a book. I think it's called The Disciplined Trader. Yeah, it's a little green book, or a blue. It's either green or blue. I had two from the same author, yeah. You guys can go and search up online. And I read this in the book, yeah, and it kind of really hit me. And I realized that this does actually exist. Trauma association is something like, let me give you an example. When you're a kid, you see this quite a lot actually. When you're a kid, let's say you had your neighbor had a dog, yeah, and you're walking past the dog. It was a dangerous dog. It bit you, yeah. Now, because you're a kid, and in your brain, or even now that happens quite a lot, even as an adult, but in your brain, because the dog gave you a negative experience, you're now associating every single dog that you see with that negative experience. Even though if it's a little poodle, it's a little baby dog, it's cute, it isn't dangerous, it isn't nothing, you're still associating yourself with that same exact experience. So that means every other time you see a dog, you get scared of it, even though the dog might actually be an amazing dog. It might be the loveliest dog you ever met. Because you had a bad experience once, your brain automatically, because it's trying to survive, your brain is trying to help you, it's trying to keep you alive, it's trying to keep you safe. So it's automatically putting that experience with any other experience that you have, with something that reminds you of that experience. So if any other time you meet a dog, that's why you see so many adults, maybe they got chased by a dog when they were younger, and so many adults, they come past the dog, they're like, oh, don't touch, no, I'm scared of dogs. It's because they had a bad experience with it. So This is something that I feel like happens a lot in trading. You're starting off in trading, maybe you have a big loss. Maybe you're trading a certain strategy, a part of your strategy, you're trading it. And because you lost maybe a lot of money, you blew an account with this type of strategy, you blew an account with this type of setup, you're now using this and associating it with every single time that strategy pops up on your screen again. When that model that you have, that type of setup that you have, presents itself on your market, you're like, oh, you hesitate. You hesitate. And hesitation is the worst thing in trading. Trading should be automatic. You have your steps, boom, 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 enter. That's how it should be. It should be like a robot when you think in trading. So when you associate something that you see now because of something that's happened in the past, that's why I was saying earlier, a lot of you people might be doing better because you've kind of left what's happened in 2025 in the past, all the bad things, you're not thinking about it anymore. But a lot of people still think about it. Oh, I blew my trade, my account with this one trade that I took, and it was a New York reversal from a high. Just because you blew it once, you're associating it with every other thing. So you need to kind of get that out of your system. And you need to understand that losses, bad things in trading are part of your journey. First of all, there's no strategy that's 100% win rate. That's one thing. So you need to always have this in the back of your mind. Losses are part of your strategy. It's the same way as you're a car salesman. Not every single car is going to make you profit. Not every single car is going to make you crazy profit. Some cars you might lose money on. You might buy a car from the outside it looks good, from the inside it's absolutely broken down. You might lose a few $1,000s. So it's the exact same thing as a business. Not every single thing that you do in the business is going to mean that you make profit. You're actually going to lose money sometimes, but it's part of your strategy. That means that 1 in every 10 cars you might lose money on, but in the overall picture, you're still profitable because 9 of those cars you made profit on, which covers the loss. So it's the exact same thing in trading. You need to see it as part of a business strategy that you have, let's say you have 10 trades and 3 of them are losses, but it doesn't matter. You know that you're going to have losers. And those losers might only be 3 or 4 losers, but the rest of your trades that you have winners are going to cover your expenses from those losers. They're going to cover your losses, plus make you profit. So when you have a loss, you don't have to associate it with a bad thing straight away. There's a lot of people that say, have a loss, it's a bad trade. Doesn't always mean that. It was part of your model. Your model wins 80% of the time. So that means out of 10 trades, 2 would be losers. That means that your model is not 100% win rate. So you know you're going to have losses. So in your mind, you shouldn't associate the loss with something bad straight away. You should say to yourself, oh, it's just one of my losses. It came across my weekly trades. That's fine. That's one of the losses out the way. I should still be expecting 1 or 2 more losses. But I know the other trades should be playing out if I follow my strategy. So that's the way you have to see it. As long as you're following your strategy, as long as you're not messing up anything, you're not being hesitant, like I said before, you're not associating it with past losses that you've had. You've said, oh, I've had a loss. I never want to take this type of model again. This model is bad. Every strategy has losing periods. Every strategy you're going to get losses within. So you just need to get comfortable with having losses. So don't relate a past loss, which one of the losses might have just been a 1% loss, but that 1% loss back in the day was maybe the reason you blew an account. So in your head, you're, oh, I've now related it with this, so I'm never going to do this again. Yeah. You should say, okay, I lost. It was part of my strategy. If it wasn't, you need to be able to go and journal it. You need to be able to say, what did I do wrong? If you can't identify what you did wrong in your loss, or if you did anything wrong, then you're not at a stage where you should be trading yet. You should still be practicing. If you can't sit there and say, the reason why I lost this is because I was hesitant. I didn't cover the high where it was supposed to be covered. I tried to risk more percent than I did. I skipped on one of the confluences. I should have waited for this confluence, but I skipped out on it. I traded during news. If you can't identify these things, you should not be trading live in the market. So this is one of the things, trauma association. Don't associate your losses with bad experiences you've had in the past with certain models and certain losses. Just always know there's always going to be losses in your strategy. It's just part of the strategy. As long as that strategy is profitable, it makes you money at the end of the month. I don't care what anybody has to say. If you have a 30% win rate, but your RR is through the roof at 1 to 100, I don't care. I don't care if you have 20 losses, 50 losses, but at the end of the month, if you come in profit and it's part of your strategy and you calculate that this was part of your strategy over data you've collected, I don't care what your win rate is. I don't care how many RR you take. As long as you know losses are part of your strategy and I'm profitable with this strategy. That's all that matters. So that is one thing ticked out of the way. That's how you have to view it. You have to know that losses will come. Losses are not a bad thing. Losses are just something that you can learn from a lot of the time, or that it was just one of the losses that's meant to happen in your strategy. You followed your strategy perfectly and it just didn't go your way, which is normal. Sometimes it happens. Your strategy is not 100% win rate. So next thing I want to talk about is another type of loss that people see as a loss. I don't see why they see it as a loss. And is being comfortable with not trading, having a no trade day, having days where you don't trade at all, you have 0 trades on your day. You need to be comfortable with this. And a lot of people see this as a loss. Oh, I didn't trade today. I've seen other people online. This, it's all linking together. I see someone online, he took a trade today. Why did I not get a trade? Oh, I need to look at another strategy. And that's how people end up strategy hopping. That's how people, it mixes in with a lot of things. So when you have something like this, where you're not comfortable with not taking a trade, you feel like you need to take a trade, you need to get over that and kind of understand that some days you might not take a trade. I know people have a strategy that you might get 2-3 trades every day, but again, win rate down the bin. They might have very low win rate, but then that means that maybe they're mentally strong. They know, okay, these losses are part of my thing. I know when I'm going to get a win, it's going to be, you know what I mean? So you need to understand that everybody's strategy is different. Doesn't mean that you need to trade every single day. And if you're not comfortable with taking less trades, maybe you're a little bit less comfortable with taking less trades, you can change this. But I feel like at the beginning of your career, your trading career, you need to be comfortable with sitting, looking at the chart and saying nothing makes sense. I can't see a single one of my setups forming. I'm closing my computer and that's it. I'm not going on it. You need to be comfortable with saying that. But this is something that you can adjust over time. Maybe you trade only 2 pairs. Let's say, like me, I trade EURUSD and GBPUSD. And I trade 2 sessions of the day, but I only trade 1 hour of each session. That's my kill time window. That's my key time zone, If I don't see a trade, I close my computer, that's it, I'm off it. But, okay, maybe I feel like I want to get more trades in. I'm not comfortable with taking less trades, so I'm going to make it strategically. Okay, I'm going to add maybe 1 more pair on. I'm adding another pair onto the 2 pairs I already trade. Maybe I'm adding USD CAD or CAD USD, whatever it's called. I'm adding that on. I'm adding GBP JPY, just so you have something else to get maybe more opportunities to trade. So this is strategically you being able to trade more, but not actually taking bad setups, because all you're doing is you're adding another pair that you can look at, which is fine. I would say as long as you stay under 4 pairs, you're all right. When it goes over, it gets a little bit complicated. If you don't have a correct system or you're not very advanced at trading, that's when it can be difficult. But at the same time, I'm giving you advice on how to trade more. Sometimes you just need to be comfortable. I know people have traded only 2 times a month and they make 10 times the profits that people make when they trade every single day. I know certain traders that, okay, they aim for someone like me. If I only took A+ setups, if I only took my A tier setups, I'd maybe trade once or twice a month, but I would end up around 12%, 13% up on the month, which is crazy to some people. Some people are like, you made a 10% month, wow. But that's quite normal for me because I'm being patient. I'm waiting only for those A tier setups where everything lines up and boom, I'm entered. But only those opportunities, because how difficult it is to get everything lined up, might only present itself once or twice a month. So depending on your strategy, you need to be comfortable with not taking trades. My camera just turned off, so I'm going to pick up back where we were talking about. So talking about being comfortable with not trading. So I still think is one of the most important parts of you actually getting to that next level in trading, especially if you're finding it difficult, if you feel like you're not profitable just because you're not trading every single day, which is absolutely stupid. You need to be very comfortable with not trading. If you're not on the market, you need to be able to look at your charts here. And if you're not seeing anything that you like, you need to be able to turn around and literally say, okay, I'm off the charts today. You can go cook, you can go gym, you can go paint, you can do whatever you want to do, as long as it's not alcohol or drugs. Just do something to keep you busy on the side. Work on another business, maybe something like this. You just need to be comfortable at not trading. And I feel like professional traders are actually the best at this. So hedge fund managers, you not trading is you preserving capital. So if you're preserving capital and saving yourself from making stupid mistakes, losing dumb percentages that shouldn't be lost, it's the best thing to do. And I feel like hedge fund managers and just managers and capital in general who trade for other people are the best at this, because they've got all this type of capital that you can't even fathom. It's the amount of numbers that you can't even think of, and it's millions and millions and millions. And all they're doing is maybe taking 1-2 trades a month, and they're still kind of capping it off at 1 or 2%. They're just trying to beat like Nasdaq, the ESP. They're just trying to beat these bigger stocks and stuff like that. So that's why people invest in these hedge funds and capital managers, because they can make them a little bit more profit instead of stuffing their money into some stock. Yeah. So what these hedge fund managers do, they literally trade once or twice a month. They wait for that A+ setup because they're risking millions and millions of dollars. So they can't like afford to just think, oh, I need to trade every single day. But that's where it comes to capital. The thing I was saying about capital is when I was talking about social media, the only difference between you and some people online, you might actually be a better trader, is the fact that you have less capital in them. That's the only thing that's actually different between you and other people online. You might be making way more percentage, you might be way more consistent, you might be way sharper in the market, but you're just making less money because you have less capital. So be comfortable with not trading. That's 100% where I still stand every single day. I think if you're able to do this, you're able to become profitable. This is one of the biggest obstacles that a lot of people find difficult, because people sit there and they're like, should I trade? Is this a set? When you're doubting yourself like that, get off the market. You should be able to come on, be like, here, 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 here. Yes, I see this, and then get off the market. That's how it should be. And especially the next thing I'm going to be talking about is, this is another thing that especially targets most people. Like, I feel like this is something a lot of people struggle with, and it's over trading. So there's two things. Being comfortable with not trading, that kind of links in together with over trading. But I feel like being comfortable with not trading doesn't always mean you're over trading. It just means that maybe one of the days that you were in the market, you just shouldn't have traded because it seemed a bit too confusing. You weren't understanding everything. But over trading is like taking it next level. It's like when you're on the market, you know you shouldn't be on the market. Even if you should be, you've collected your profits for the day. You've made $5,000, you've made $10,000, $1,000, whatever it is. And you're saying to yourself, that's not enough. In what world is that not enough? That's the way you have to see it. In what world is that not enough? Because you have to always just kind of look back at yourself and look at those days when you didn't have money, when that was your wage, that was how much you were making in a whole month. That's the way you need to see it when you're over trading. You need to also have rules in place. Rules are there for a reason. It's for you not to break them. At least your rules. When it's other rules in life in general, there's certain things that you can kind of bypass. But in trading, it is strict. If your rules are there, follow them. There's a reason why they're there. If they didn't matter, they wouldn't be there. So over trading is definitely something that can kill 100% of your gains, because how many times do you hear, oh, I ran this account up to from 2,000 to 50K to 100K, oh, and then I blew all the money. Let's be real. You hear this quite a lot. People that are flipping accounts and stuff like that, and they run up, they maybe make a lot of money. They run up 200K, 300K, and then they blow it all. How can you blow 300K when you just made, you made that from maybe 2-3 grand? And I feel like Urimi University has a really good saying on this. Fill the imbalance in your bank account before you fill the imbalance on the chart. It's such a good saying because it's so true. There's a lot of people saying, oh, but I need to make this 7K. I need to make this 10K. Why? Some of you have never even tasted money from the markets. If you're setting up 2-3K, take it. Take it. If it's your first amount of money that you're trying to extract from the market, take the money and enjoy it. Taste it. Realize that it's real money. And I feel like that's what's really going to be changing how you actually trade, because I feel like it's just something about it. You know, after you're taking your first amount of money from the market, it just switches something in you. Like you're on go mode from there. There's no stopping you anymore. So definitely try to stop over trading by just taking what the market gives you, because sometimes it might take away from you. So you need to always take what it gives you and stop yourself when you clearly can see that it might not give you anything. And that comes to being comfortable with not trading. And the last thing I want to talk about is something that ties in with the trauma association, how to actually kind of get over that whole, you had a bad experience with something, now you associate everything that reminds you of that bad experience with that negative experience. Like you're saying, okay, I'm a bit like hesitant to get in now because it reminds me of the time that I lost this much money. I blew this account. I don't really like this model because it reminds me where I lost my rent money, whatever. Yeah. And the way that I say is the best to get over this is learning how to lose. And this is what I was saying to you earlier. Losing doesn't mean you're a bad trader. Losing doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Because if losing was a bad thing, then nobody would be a trader. Everybody would be a horrible trader. Even these hedge fund managers who lose millions and millions of dollars every day, these floor traders who are losing millions at a time. There's all these people making losses that are way above you in skill levels. They're way above you in the levels of life. Like they're seeing a whole different level of life and they're still losing. So what difference does it make that they're losing and you're losing? It's the exact same thing. Maybe the only difference is that they're actually learning from the losses instead of just saying, oh, I'm a horrible trader. Oh, I don't know how to trade. And that is one way to kind of get past that whole trauma situation, is learning how to lose. You've lost, don't sit and beat up yourself about it. Don't get frustrated about it. It's understandable. Maybe you lost 2-3%. Maybe you're down on your funded account, your live account, whatever. Yeah. And it can be difficult to handle the emotions from that because it is money. End of the day, it is a little bit difficult to detach yourself from the money, especially at the beginning, because you don't really have that feeling of, oh, you're still kind of attached to money. You've not got that feeling of, I don't really care about it anymore. You're not there yet. But definitely learning how to lose and learning how to say to yourself, okay, it's a loss. This was calculated. It's part of my strategy. And then doing a case study on it. I always say it is very important to do your case studies on all your losses. And what I mean by a case study, not you're right, oh, I'm just like, I was just being an idiot and I took a random trade. Go write down exactly what happened, what you think went wrong, where you could have improved. Make a case study around it, because when you do this, you're spending so much time on that loss that all you're doing is learning from it. You're just sitting on that chart. You're saying, oh, and then the longer you're spending on it, is the longer you're like, okay, I see where I went wrong here, because you're spending more and more time on it. And it's going to kind of get embedded in your head where you went wrong, which means that next time you're definitely not going to make the same mistake. And this is another saying that I've heard from other people. It's okay to make a loss, but don't make the same loss twice, or don't make the same mistake twice. You should be learning from your mistake and kind of making sure that next time it doesn't happen. And that happens from you actually doing case studies on your losses, understanding where you went wrong, and not being upset with yourself about it. Just saying, okay, it happened. You should be happy you're learning these losses now when you're not really spending that much money. Maybe you've got a 10K account, 50K account. In your head, I lost $500, I lost $1,000. What is that when you're actually profitable? You've got $3-4 million account and you're losing tens of thousands at a time. You know what I mean? I'd rather much rather lose money now than lose this money when I've got a $5 million account and I'm paying for those mistakes that I didn't learn when I had less money. So that's the way you have to see it. But yeah, it's going to be a rough year. I feel like it's going to be a rough year for a lot of people starting off, especially with Trump in power now. It could be a good year. It could be a rough year, but I think there's a lot of randomness in the market at the moment. And especially for people who haven't really got much market experience and don't know why the market's reacting in certain ways, it can be a little bit rough. But using these tips I gave you today, there should be no reason why you can't just go and understand the market much better, understand yourself much better, because in trading, it's only you. There's no one else around you. There's no one that's going to make you think differently. You can take advice from people, but no one can literally grab you and say, boom, 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 it's done. And you're thinking like a whole different person. It doesn't always happen like that. It takes experience. It takes failures. It just takes repetition in the market. So taking all these little points, I'm saying take these all very seriously. Don't just look over them as just a video. I'm watching it. You're probably eating something right now. You're just doing it, watching it, listening carefully, because I'm giving you this advice for a reason. I'm not coming on here and making a 30-40 minute video just to say, oh yeah, whatever, this is the reason why you're failing, and you're just like watching in the background. There's a reason why I'm giving you all these points. I sat here and thought about all the points that actually made a difference in my trading over the years, and these are some of the ones that I've heard the most of my students, that even my students give me the most feedback on, that said, this changed so much since you taught me how to do this, how to think about this, how to do that. And definitely, I think the first one that you need to just focus on the most right now is understanding that it's most of the problems in the market is because of you. When you understand that and you have that self accountability and it doesn't hurt you, you don't feel any way about yourself. You're just like, okay, I made a mistake, but I know what I'm going to do now. I'm going to go work on it. That's all that matters. You don't need to beat yourself up about it. You just need to be nice and honest about yourself and just get it moving. That's all that matters. Don't sit and hesitate. Put the first foot down. Go do all these other steps I told you. And trust me, even in a month, even in a week, you might even see a difference by your next time you trade. So make sure you go do all this. And I hope everybody enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want to see a little bit more of just the raw content of me giving you guys advice, just as if I'm talking to you, because I know sometimes you're watching video, you don't feel connected to it. Like you don't feel connected at all to it. So if you like this kind of way, like it feels like I'm kind of talking directly to you, let me know in the comments. And yeah, I hope everybody has an amazing week next week. And yeah, I'll see everybody later. Bye-bye.